G'day, this is Captainoob, but this is a pump shotgun. This is a combat shotgun without a magazine and in pump action form. So what you'll do to reload this is you'll push some shotgun shells through the mag well and you'll fill up the tube and that'll be your feeding mechanism. Pretty simple, I guess. It's also got no charging handle on the side here because you don't use it. And the reason that is because the animations have been reused from Doom's M37 Ithaca mod. So unfortunately that does mean they're a little bit dated and they won't actually reload as many bullets as we need to fill up the magazine. But that's okay, they're good enough and it works for what we've got here. So what this weapon does kind of bridge the gap between the double barrel shotgun in the vanilla game and the combat shotgun. Something they did in Fallout 76 really well with the pump action shotgun, which is a very good looking weapon. They did a great job in Fallout 76's pump action shotgun. This one, it's a little bit more familiar, I guess. It's just a combat shotgun. It's got a little bit of a longer barrel to account for the pumping, but this handguard here is what you use. It's got timber furniture. It'll be nice if it's all filed down and neat. Anyways, let's get into the attachments. First of all, we've got the chance to make this thing a 1-bullet shooter or a shotgun, so you can make it fire 44 magnums. You'll lose a little bit of damage, but gain a lot of accuracy and range out of it. So that might be something you consider if you want to use this thing as sort of a brush rifle. We're going to leave this on a combat shotgun looking thing and have it function in that way with the shotgun receiver. So we'll move on from that. Right now, we've got a short barrel, which does have purpose other than being the bottom tier attachment that you'll just forget about and never use. This actually gives you increased critical damage. So if you want to do a highly luck-based version of this or a run with this, then this is the barrel to use. You'll just have to get really close and just shoot crits in the face, which I think is a fun way of using shotguns. So yeah, I'm liking this a lot already. And we've got a heavy barrel here, which will actually increase our ammo capacity by virtue of making this tube longer, because we're able to stack more rounds in that tube, which is great. A standard barrel will just have more of an extension on this barrel there. They'll give you slightly better spread and everything, and increase your accuracy and range a little bit. And the hunting barrel here actually decreases the spread by quite a lot, but as you can tell, the tube's not long enough, so we won't get all 8 rounds as we would with the heavy barrel. So for a shotgun, we're going to make this have as many rounds as possible, and we'll move on. And you can change the stock to a full stock or a marksman stock. The difference between the full stock and the marksman stock is that you'll just have less scope sway when you're aiming with a scope. That's kind of helpful and suits our purposes really well. Right now we've got pin sights. You'll find that you'll just have basically all that you have generally on a combat shotgun, although you'll find that the reflex sights are just that of the 44 Magnum in-game, and the short scope looks different. I can't remember if I've seen that before, but I actually quite like the look of that, and the shorter scopes just look like that. The standard scopes look fairly normal how they are. Now, you might think I'm mad, and I'm going to contradict this in a second, but using a scope with a weapon like this is super helpful because these are riflemen and they're scoped. Therefore, sniper rank 2 grants you a knockdown chance, which is stacked per pallet. So basically it's going to be a showstopper. It's going to be awesome. Although we're going to screw over our range a little bit by putting on a suppressor, it'll actually increase our damage by quite a lot by allowing us to use Ace Operator, and also we can be slightly sneaky with it as well. Don't worry, there's a method to my madness. We'll get back to that soon. Now, right now, we've got the standard trigger here, but you can have a hair trigger, which will give you slightly higher rate of fire, although I'm guessing the rate of fire is tied to the pump action animation anyway, so maybe not super useful. A calibrated trigger helps you use your criticals to yet another advantage there, so use that with a short barrel to get even more critical damage, although it will cost AP, so have that in mind. Armor piercing receiver is actually pretty good, although it does cost you a little bit of damage. I would have definitely gone for that 100% if it didn't cost me all this damage. I think I'll just leave this on standard. In fact, I'm going to go hair trigger. We'll boost our rate of fire a little bit. Right now, we've got standard frame. We can make that heavy frame to give us more damage at the cost of extra weight to the weapon. Perhaps less useful on a survival mode where your carry weight is a little bit more nerfed, but that's okay. We can carry that stuff. And we've even got receivers. We've got hardened, powerful, advanced, and overpower, which will give us epic damage. Let's not use the overpowered one. Let's just go with advanced. Although, is it cheating? It doesn't say that it's cheating. I'm just going to leave this on advanced. Overpowered does feel like cheating. And a legendary effect is there if you need it. Something like Lucky, would be pretty massive on this with the crit stuff on it. So maybe I try that later. But that's one of the pump action shotguns we're going to be using. Looks more like a rifle, doesn't it? That's okay. Don't worry. I know what I'm doing. You can craft this on a chemistry workbench under utility. It'll cost you 1 combat rifle and a combat shotgun. I guess that makes sense. And maybe this is a costume for winter another day. Don't worry about that. That's not part of the video. Righto, so here we are in Gunner's Plaza now, and this is the pump shotgun in first person. Looks very familiar, doesn't it? And the animations should be vaguely familiar. We've seen these before in another weapon, but this is what it looks like in third person. Looks like a rifle, is actually a shotgun. Note the multiple pallets. Don't worry, it'll all become apparent very, very soon. There's the reload animation in third person, by the way. It's actually kind of quick despite reloading one by one. And here is a close quarters crit blaster with a shortened barrel, shortened stock reflex sight, and calibrated capacitor, suppressor thing, no, capacitor, receiver. This one has a suppressor, and it'll also a medium scope. It's got a rifle-based receiver, so this will be our sniper variant. And we've got another rifle version, brush version. This one just has no suppressor and a reflex sight and an elongated tube, which apparently they can only fit 8 44 Magnum rounds in that. I guess the front of it is all just solid for dampening the recoil. I don't know what's going on there. Also worth mentioning, this thing is compatible with classic holstered weapons as usual. Just ignore the clipping on the bottom of the jacket there because Kylie's skirt sort of flares out at the bottom. Had to sort of make edits to this thing. So we're going for a short skirt and long jacket approach here. It's stylish. A guy wrote a song about it once. And we've also got pumps. Now, I don't particularly like high heels. They're actually against the dress code here at Captainoob because you'll trip over, you'll sprain your ankle, and you cause blisters and cause all sorts of bad stuff to happen. So that's a no-no. And I've actually got high heel system, so if I were to take the heels off, what'll actually happen is she goes back down to a normal height, which is boosted a little bit with the heels. So that's kind of fun. Normally she's the shortest of the angels, but when she wears the high heels like this, she actually towers over everyone else, which I think is funny. Sensible shoes. We'll put the flats on. That's good. Now we can run around properly. Also, pumps, like pump shotgun. Do you get it? I'm not going to linger on that one because 6 Messenger already made that joke in his Nexus posts, but I figured I'd show off that mod. Not the time or place for it. Time or place for shooting gunners, though. And you'll note that I'm basically getting knockdowns almost every single time. And what that allows me to do is to juggle gunners around so that they'll never shoot me, because whilst they're knocked down, they're basically paralyzed. It will take them a little bit to get up. Obviously, that's not going to work against everything. These turrets are mounted in place, but they're weak enough to kill in a couple of shots anyway, so that's okay. So basically, the scoped shotgun here, it's a showstopper, and despite its slow DPS, thanks to its rate of fire being low, because you got to pump after every shot, it's done the job there pretty well. Now, open fire. Get a critical going here. Oh. I expected a kill. Here's a bash. Never mind. I'll show off the bash animation now because it's kind of weird. I guess it turns into an axe for a second. Just hold it right over your head. Anyways, you're close enough to Vat's crit. Hang on, let me find you. Go for a crit here. I'm very disappointed that it doesn't kill, but the mysterious stranger looks like he's coming in. Gonna reject that and just go for the second shot regardless manually anyway. The reload made sense then because we already reloaded 5 ones in. And I noticed that the calibrated receiver here, it's slow. And the slowness doesn't come from the pump action itself. Rather, there's a bit of a delay after the animation of pumping is done, and that's how they regulate rate of fire, I guess. And yeah, these gunners are kind of tanking it up at the moment, so it feels a little bit slow as a consequence. But what we'll do now is we'll bring out our sniper variant here, and we'll start picking off targets over range. I don't know what your problem is. I can't believe I missed that shot. Wasn't quite close enough. There we go. That one's dead now. We get an indirect knockdown on that particular gunner there because they were standing next to the turret as it exploded. whilst we're at this super close range, it looks like we can one-shot everything. And the hipfire on this thing is actually pretty good. So we could probably have gotten away with hip-firing most of that. We can retain a little bit of our field of vision here, because honestly the medium scope in here is kind of overkill, but it is what it is. Anyways, we'll keep on doing the brush gun trend here. We'll see about that, gunner. No trash talking me. Worth mentioning that this is a little off. You can tell that it's a little bit off because the square is centered on the screen, but the reflex sight is not. So we've got to aim a little bit to the right. And there's a cheeky little level up there. Let's see what we can do with a little bit of hip fire with this thing. Marginally ineffective at this range. But it's sitting still, so we can simply just shoot it like that. Now this thing should be pretty good in VATS. I've got a reflex sight on it. It's okay. It's not the best. Hey, you've got one. Yes, you can find it from gunners and everything. It's just another thing on the level list to make sure these guys don't spawn with MG42s, which I'm going to keep on for that specific reason. Let's go back to a shotgun, shall we? Stop shooting at me right now. There we go. Send you into the ceiling with that. And whilst they're knocked down, try to get headshots. Make it slightly better, but you can tell that at range this thing is going to suffer a lot. And if you can't knock them down, you're going to have a little bit of trouble. Alrighty. So that does it for the warm-up. I think we can lose this jacket now. Can we? We'll keep going. Alrighty, so we'll take on Swan today, and I think what we'll do is we'll hit him with this and knock him down, and then we'll switch over to the suppressed sniper variant just to see what kind of damage we can do. You can see there's a big old damage difference between this and when it's not actually used for... Oh, look, there's a dude there. Well, you need to go down, mate. And before you run away... I want my sneak criticals, damn it, and you can't be aggroing Swan without me. I think that was just a random ghoul there. So, if we do a shot from here and shoot him in the head... Hopefully we can get it. There we go. 980, that's pretty good. But we'll knock him down. And that stops him in his tracks, which means... Whoops, wrong weapon. Which means we can shoot him ever so slightly easier. And I suppose we can sort of get these guaranteed shots in. Go for a crit here. We actually managed to get a quick knockdown there. Whoops. Yep, that's good. That's the wrong weapon again. Getting the hotkeys all wrong here. So it looks like 980 was not even a headshot at all. There we go. So we're getting sort of carried by sniper rank 2 at the moment. But despite this being a pump shotgun, I'm finding the best use out of it to be not using it as a shotgun at all. And too close. Let's get you knocked down. And we can actually get a decent amount of damage right here. And that'll keep him knocked down. As long as we don't get directly spotted by him. Sort of stay low, stay crouched in the bush there. There we go. That's doing okay, I suppose. I think we're slightly edging out on the range here, so we'll creep a little bit closer. I feel like there's just moments where the projectiles are either blocked on the way out of the barrel or it just doesn't fire at all, because there's a bunch of shots and it's more obvious on a gigantic target like Swan. Some of them just don't land, and I think we're okay. I think we're done here, so there we go, jacket's off, just like Obi-Wan throwing off the jacket before taking on General Grievous. We are fully warmed up here, so we'll find something else to finish off on. Never mind, it's raining down here, jacket stays on. So, what we'll do is we're going to be using our critical our critical shotgun. We're going to jump right down here, and then we're going to get a big old gun foo streak. We're going to spam criticals as much as possible. And we'll see what we can do. We should be okay. I'm kind of getting eaten by ghouls in slow motion here. It's probably not pleasant. No, they're attacking that guy because Ghoulish turned him. We just got that much charisma. Even feral ghouls want to simp for Kylie. And, well, that was disappointing. Yeah, I think we're being hardcore cucked by a range here. And now everything's on fire. It's a good sign. But we're all at pseudo point blank range, so we should be able to do this. And we can get a rapid, speedy reload here in VATS. There we go. And Grim Reaper sprint procs, so we can get started on shooting the rest down. A lot of these guys almost died due to the fire explosion, I think. That's a Roma, should be able to get him. And we'll keep spamming these criticals. Plenty of criticals on call here. We got kind of lucky. 4-leaf clover, Grim Reaper sprint and everything sort of popping in for the last couple of shots and VATS here. Not so lucky this round. We're decisively getting rid of these criticals here and not getting much for it. Well, that one didn't seem to consume the critical at all, which is good because we didn't actually end up doing a lot from that. Zombies and shotguns are always a good mix in video games, I'll tell you that much. And good thing we are using a shotgun, because if I was standing back here, I can't even see what I'm shooting at there. This is, I believe, a rad dust storm. Yep, alright, we're done here. Pretty cool Tammy, get a vehicle extraction out of this shit all. Righto, so I think I'll leave things there for the pump shotgun, and I think it's a pretty solid mod. I think it does do a good job at bridging the gap between the double barrel and combat shotgun, while still remaining fresh enough with all of its customization options, and the fact that you can make it a brush gun is a nice little bonus too. It adds a lot of versatility to it, and it's just a damn good use of vanilla assets here. It's only 1.7 megabytes in size, which is basically nothing, so it's almost like a freebie. So if you are looking for a cheap little mod that I guess you could call lore-friendly, that's a quick little flip of assets and stuff that was already out there, very resourceful mod I think, then I reckon you should grab this one. It's good fun to use, and having that extra brush gun capability does give it a little bit more versatility if you are looking for a pump action rifle, which obviously you don't see a whole lot of those for reasons probably due to impracticality most of all, but highly recommend this mod. Give it a look if you're interested. Thank you very much for watching. Links will be in the description. Goodbye!